Now on to section 2. So section 2 is the square roots of perfect squares with signs. So, oops, let me get my pen. So section 2. So before I start on section 2, I do want to talk about the notes a little bit. So going up to, let's see, the properties 1 and 2, the square root of a is a real number if a is greater than or equal to 0. So the number under the square root has to be a positive number. If it's not a positive number, so if there shouldn't be a square root sign over there. So for property 2, let me write it over here. It should be square root of a is not a real number if just a, no square root under the a, is less than 0. So if a is negative, then it's not a real number. Right. So now that we've talked about that, let's do example 1. So example 1, we want to evaluate the square root, the negative square root of 9. Right. So before I do that, before I can continue, so it's a square root, so since it's a square root, we have to check the number under the square root. So in this case, a is 9. 9 is greater than or equal to 0. Since 9 is greater than or equal to 0, this is a real number. So what is it? I'm going to take the square root, so the negative sign stays on the front, and the square root of 9 is 3. And this is our answer. Now for example 2, example 2 is looks the same, but it's a little different. We want to evaluate the square root of negative 9. So as you can see, the negative is in the radical this time, right? Not outside. So in this case, a is whatever's under here, which is negative 9. Negative 9 is less than 0. It is a negative number. So since it is less than 0, what does that mean? This means this is not a real, oh my gosh, what a funky R. That's fine, you guys can read it. Not a real number. Right? And that's it.